Welcome students, I am Dr. Smita Sharma and I was teaching you operational amplifier. Now in the previous lecture, the topics that were covered were, first of all we had discussed feedback amplifier and its different configuration. How many types of feedback amplifier can be made. And then we had started voltage series feedback amplifier. We had calculated its gain and we had found that on applying negative feedback the gain of the voltage series feedback amplifier reduces. So here again we will start with voltage series feedback amplifier and we will try to calculate its other properties too, and we will compare it with open loop configuration and will find what happens to each and every parameter. This is the basic diagram that we had discussed to calculate the gain of the feedback amplifier. So capital A in the diagram depicts the open loop gain of the operational amplifier, and we had calculated AF, that is the gain of the amplifier when feedback was applied. As you can see from the diagram, the feedback is being provided to the inverting end. So this type of feedback is called a negative feedback. On applying negative feedback, gain decreases by a factor 1 upon 1 plus AB. So the AF is finally A upon 1 plus AB, or we can say it has been decreased by a factor 1 plus AB. Now for voltage series feedback amplifier, we will try to calculate its input impedance, output impedance, what happens to its bandwidth when a negative feedback is applied. So first of all, we will calculate input impedance with feedback. What happens to the input impedance when feedback is applied? So this is the basic diagram of used to calculate input impedance. You can see here in the diagram we have taken the equivalent circuit of the op-amp. Now figure shows a voltage series feedback amplifier with op-amp equivalent circuit. Here Ri, where is Ri? Ri is here. Ri is the input resistance of the op-amp, and RIF, that will be calculated from here. The arrow is shown clearly. It is the input resistance or impedance of the feedback amplifier. Now first of all we will define the input resistance with feedback. It is defined as RIF is VIN upon IIN, V input upon I input. Now in order to calculate I input, V input we are providing from that input signal that we are providing, and I input can be calculated by using this part. See here, current is coming here, it is flowing through this resistance. So this current can be calculated as V upon R. What is V? V is VID and R is RI. So in place of IIN we can write VID upon RI. Now by definition of open loop gain, we know capital A is equals to VID upon A is equals to VO upon VID, output voltage upon difference of the input voltage. So again VID can be calculated as or written as V naught upon A. Also, the feedback gain AF is defined as VO upon VIN. Now in the previous slide we had seen AF was equal to A upon 1 plus AB. So putting A upon 1 plus AB in place of AF, we can calculate V naught. V naught is equals to A upon 1 plus AB into VIN. This we have written by the definition of AF. Now putting all these values in above equation, what we will get? First of all, we will put the value of VID. So when VID is placed, the equation somewhat becomes RIF is equals to RI. Again RI jumps to the numerator position, VIN upon VO upon A. Putting value of VO, we finally get this equation. Now the terms that can be cancelled out will cancel out, and we'll finally obtain RIF is equals to RI bracket 1 plus AB. So what does this equation shows? This equation shows a relation between RIF and RI, or we can say the input resistance with feedback is somewhat equal to input resistance without feedback multiplied by a factor 1 plus AB, or we can say the input impedance with feedback increases by a factor 1 plus AB. So in an op-amp with feedback, the input resistance or input impedance increases by a factor 1 plus AB. So it is better to use feedback circuit. Now next is output impedance with feedback. So this is again we have taken the same circuit using equivalent circuit of an op-amp, but in the diagram you can see that we have shorted the input signal, and in place we have also applied an additional signal voltage V naught in the output. Why this we have done, we will discuss now. First of all, we will define output resistance. Output resistance is the resistance determined looking back into the feedback amplifier from the output terminal. मतलब इसका मीनिंग क्या हो गया? इसका मीनिंग ये हुआ कि बाहर से जब आप उस टर्मिनल के आउटपुट टर्मिनल के बाहर से खड़े होकर पीछे देखते हैं तो आपको जो रेजिस्टेंस दिखाई देता है दैट फीडबैक एम्पलीफायर का, दैट इज आउटपुट रेजिस्टेंस. So how this can be calculated? It can be calculated using Thevenin theorem, so that it by a simplified version. So what we have to do in order to calculate output resistance? To find output resistance with feedback, we have to reduce independent source VIN to 0. That we have done. First of all, we will short this so that it becomes 0. Then we apply an external voltage V naught, and then we calculate the resulting current. The current flowing due to this voltage will be I naught. This I naught comes here at the node capital N. It divides into two, IA and IB. And feedback the output impedance with feedback is calculated here, ROF. So first of all, we'll go through the definition of ROF and then we'll calculate it. So again we have taken the same diagram. Now ROF is defined as follows. ROF is V naught upon I naught. We have clearly mentioned what is V naught and I naught in the diagram. Now first of all, we'll write Kirchhoff's current equation at the node capital N. As you can see from the diagram, I naught will be equal to IA plus IB at capital N. Now we have to find which current is greater, IA or IB, because IO is splitting into two currents, IA and IB. Now see here, IB current, where IB current flows? IB current flows through this RF resistor and this R1 resistor. Also R1 resistor, if we readjust this circuit, what we find that Ri is in parallel combination with R1. So Ri is already a bigger quantity, a larger quantity that we have defined in case of operational amplifier, that its input impedance or input resistance is very high. So what we can write? We can write the total resistance. Total resistance, if we approximately calculate what it comes out to be, it will be RF plus R1 in parallel combination with Ri. So here this value, RF plus this value, is very large, and it is very large as compared to R naught, because we have already defined that output impedance of the op amp is small. So what we can write? We can write RF plus R1 in parallel combination with Ri. We have not calculated the exact value because it is not important. It is only to show that this combination is very much greater than RO. Or we can say, if this combination is very much greater than RO, then IA current will be very much greater than IB. If resistance is high, then current will be low. So we can approximately say that IB is very small as compared to IA, or we can write IO or I naught is approximately equal to IA. Now what this IO current can be obtained, IO or IA, whatever we say, can be calculated by using output loop and applying Kirchhoff's voltage equation in the output loop. So as you can see from the diagram, V naught current flows in this way. IO and IA are same, so we can write IO in place of IA. This current flows to RO and AVID. So what we can write according to Kirchhoff voltage equation, V naught is equal to IO RO plus AVID. Or if we take on one single side, we can write the equation V naught is minus R naught I naught minus AVID is equals to 0. We can calculate I naught from this equation. Now again we need VID. In I naught equation we need VID. Now what is VID? From the diagram you can see that V1 is 0, because we have already shorted VIN. So V1 is 0, and V2, what is V2? V2 is the feedback resistor. So feedback resistor we have already calculated. What is that? It is R1 upon R1 plus RF into V naught. And R1 upon R1 plus RF we have already defined it as capital B. So we can write VID is simply minus B V naught. This value we can place in here, AVID in place of VID. So this is what we get. I naught is equals to V naught plus AB V naught upon R naught. Now putting this value in the definition of ROF, we finally obtain, by solving it, we finally obtained ROF is equals to R naught upon 1 plus AB. So this is the relation between output impedance with feedback and output impedance without feedback. What does this equation say? This equation says that output impedance with feedback is less than output impedance without feedback by a factor 1 plus AB. So this is again a beneficial thing for our amplifier, because for a good amplifier the output impedance should be low and input impedance should be very high. So both these properties are enhanced in a better manner with feedback. Next is bandwidth with feedback. Now before discussing bandwidth with feedback, we'll discuss some of the equations. First of all, what is bandwidth? The bandwidth of an amplifier is defined as the band or range of frequency for which gain remains constant. Range of frequency from the frequency 1 to F1 to frequency F2 till the gain remains constant, that is bandwidth. Second definition is unity gain bandwidth. What is unity gain bandwidth? It is the frequency at which the gain is unity or 1. It is known as unity gain bandwidth, and it is the maximum frequency that op-amp can be used for. So it is important parameter for op-amps. Next definition is the gain bandwidth product. It is defined as simply the product of gain and bandwidth of the op-amp. Why we are discussing all these? Generally the gain bandwidth product or open loop gain versus frequency curve for the op-amp is specified by manufacturers. Generally either we are given the gain bandwidth product in the data sheet tables or we are given the open loop gain versus frequency curve is provided by the manufacturers to show the behavior of the operational amplifier. One of such type of figure we'll see here. So this is gain versus frequency curve for a 741 operational amplifier. Now in the this figure we see that when bandwidth is approximately 5 Hz, then the gain is approximately 2 into 10 raised to power 5 and it is constant. Now we go through the other extreme where bandwidth is when frequency is 1 megahertz, then the gain is unity, and here also the gain turns out to be approximately constant. So now we have defined the gain bandwidth product. Now gain bandwidth product, if we see by this diagram, gain into bandwidth. So if we calculate gain and bandwidth from one end or from other end, it comes out to be 1. So in this figure of 741, the unity gain bandwidth, the bandwidth is unity gain bandwidth. Now gain bandwidth for an op-amp is always constant. So if one of the parameter is higher, then other parameter will always be small. If the gain is higher, then bandwidth will be small. If bandwidth is higher, then gain will be small. So without calculating anything, we can directly say when negative feedback is applied, the gain decreases by a factor 1 plus AB. So bandwidth will also increase by the same amount. So bandwidth with feedback is equal to bandwidth without feedback into 1 plus AB. Or in terms of frequency, we can write frequency with feedback is equal to frequency without feedback into 1 plus AB. So what does this mean? Bandwidth is increases on applying negative feedback. What does this mean? That amplifier can be made to work over a large range of frequency. So more frequency range can be included and an amplifier can suitably work here. So it is again a beneficial thing for us. Now next parameter that we will discuss is total output offset voltage with feedback. We know if we apply no input or we say that input is 0, then output should also be 0 because we are not providing any signal. But due to input offset voltage that we have already defined and current, the output is significantly large, which results of high open loop gain. This is because due to high gain of the operational amplifier. This enhanced output voltage is called total output offset voltage, VOOT, output offset voltage. So what is our total output offset voltage? It is output offset voltage in the output that appears due to input offset voltage. It is not due to input signal, it is due to input offset voltage or current. Now in an open loop op-amp, the total output offset voltage is equal to either positive or negative saturation voltage because open loop gain of the operational amplifier is approximately, in an ideal case it is infinite. If a small error voltage is introduced to the op-amp, it is amplified to the either in positive saturation or negative saturation. So it is simply total output offset voltage. In an open loop configuration, it is either positive Vset, plus Vset or minus Vset. But when we apply feedback, that is also a negative feedback, then what we see, the gain is decreased by an amount 1 upon 1 plus AB. So output offset voltage with feedback must also be decreased with the same amount. So the total output offset voltage without feedback is with feedback is equal to total output offset voltage without feedback upon 1 plus AB. So total output offset voltage decreases by a factor 1 upon 1 plus AB, by a factor 1 plus AB. So again this is beneficial thing for us in case of amplifiers. This broadly we can write plus minus Vset upon 1 plus AB. So this can be either positive or negative. It is always because we can see that 1 upon 1 plus AB will always be less than 1 and plus Vset is saturation voltage. So accordingly VOOT can be positive or negative. Now, what do we conclude from all these parameters? From the above analysis, it is clear that the non-inverting amplifier with feedback exhibits the characteristics of a perfect voltage amplifier. It exhibits all those properties that are necessary for a perfect voltage amplifier. How? It has very high input impedance, low output impedance or resistance. It has a stable voltage gain. It has large bandwidth and it has very small total output offset voltage. So this makes non-inverting amplifier with feedback a perfect voltage amplifier. Now we have discussed non-inverting amplifier with feedback. One property, we will discuss its application in detail in further lectures, but one property of non-inverting amplifier is voltage follower. This we will discuss here. So what is voltage follower? Now if you remember the gain of non-inverting amplifier, it comes out to be AF is equals to 1 plus RF upon R1. So lowest gain that can be obtained from non-inverting amplifier with feedback is 1. If RF and R1 both cancel out each other, then the gain will be 1. When the non-inverting amplifier is configured for unity gain, it is called voltage follower. So what is voltage follower? Voltage follower is non-inverting amplifier with feedback having unit gain. That gain is unity. What does this mean? This means the output and the output is similar to input, because the output voltage is equal to and in phase with the input. In other words, we can say in voltage follower, the output follows the input. So what is the use of it? Gain is 1. There is no gain. Whatever signal we apply to the input we get the same in the output, but it has many useful properties. It is similar to the discrete emitter follower. You must have studied emitter follower in case of transistors. The voltage follower is preferred because it has higher input resistance and the output amplitude is exactly equal to the input. This voltage follower is preferred in many circuits because it has high input impedance and it tries to isolate the input stage from the output stage, and it exactly reproduces the output signal in as it was as the input signal. Now how do we make a voltage follower? To obtain the voltage follower from non-inverting amplifier, we simply open R1 and short RF. Now we'll go through the diagram of the voltage follower, how it is made. So here if you can see that initially in a voltage series feedback amplifier, here it was placed RF, here R1 was placed, and rest is same part. Now what we have done? We have removed RF and R1. The resulting this means all the output is being fed back to the inverting end. So this such type of combination is called a voltage follower. The resulting circuit is as shown in figure, where all the output voltage is fed back into the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. Thus the gain of feedback circuit is 1. All the voltage is being fed back, so gain of the feedback circuit will be 1. This means that B and AF both will be 1. Since the voltage follower is a special case of non-inverting amplifier, so all formulas of non-inverting amplifier are applicable to it, with the gain of feedback circuit as 1. So all the formula that we have studied up till now in case of non-inverting amplifier with negative feedback can be applied equally for voltage amplifier. We can see one by one. First we see the gain. AF is A upon 1 plus AB. Here in case of voltage follower, AF is 1. How this becomes? Because A is very large, So simply we have made the AF is 1. We have defined it in this way. Here we can apply 1 plus A is approximately equal to A, because A is very large. This we will use in many other formulas, like RIF is RI 1 plus AB. So this simply B is 1, so we can, and 1 plus A can be written as A. So RIF in case of voltage follower is ARI. In the same way, ROF in case of voltage follower, it is RO upon A. Frequency is can be written as FF is equals to AF naught, and output offset voltage can be written as plus minus Vsat upon A. Here in all these equations we have placed B equal to 1, and 1 plus A is approximately written as A. Now voltage follower, as we will see in further applications, voltage follower is also called non-inverting buffer, because when placed between two networks it removes the loading on the first network. We will discuss this in detail in further lectures, but here you should remember voltage follower is basically used where a buffer is buffer is needed. What does buffer means? Buffer is an English word that means to isolate one stage from other device is connected, and that device is your voltage follower. So this we have studied about non-inverting feedback amplifier, and how does the behavior of all the properties change in case of operational amplifier when negative feedback is applied to the um, operational amplifier and the signal is being given to the non-inverting end. Now in the next lecture we will discuss that if we are providing the signal to the inverting end with the negative feedback, what happens then. So this we will discuss in next lecture. Thank you.